Look the part, play the part. Yakko sponsors Vanarama National League on BT Sport.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Vanarama National League highlight show here on BT Sport. Over the next half an hour we'll bring you all the key moments and reaction from this weekend's games. Here are the headlines. There were 40 goals in the National League this weekend, 9 of them at Southport. Forest Green's lead at the top is down to a single point. And Dagenham and Redbridge suffer another big home defeat. Neither Southport nor Braintree are used to being the headline act in the National League, so that should tell you that you're in for something special. Before kick-off, a minute's applause for former Southport player and manager Paul Futcher, who passed away this week at the age of 60. Hackon Hayretton's side had been victorious on their last 2 away trips, and they were ahead after just 58 seconds. Keeper Magnus Norman unable to gather. Braintree's top scorer Michael Cheek was on hand to register his 5th of the season. There then followed 44 frantic minutes. The hosts were level a quarter of an hour later when Jack Higgins, on loan from York, thrashed in his first ever goal at this level. And Steve Burr's men were in front before the half-hour mark. A towering header from Josh Thompson, giving goalkeeper Sam Besant no chance. From the sublime to the ridiculous. Immediately from the restart, Braintree played the ball back to Besant, whose clearance rebounded off Andre Jones and into the net. 3-1 Southport in farcical fashion. But Besant's teammates bailed him out. First, Danny Rumans pulled one back with a goal on his Braintree debut. Then Oliver Muldoon's free kick evaded everyone, including Norman in the Southport goal. Muldoon making it 3-3 after just 36 minutes. And the away side completed a remarkable turnaround before the interval. Higgins this time flicking the ball into his own net. From 3-1 down, Braintree were 4-3 up at half-time. The madness spilled over into the second half. Jones getting the better of the Braintree back line before being appended by Besant. Penalty to Southport and a yellow card for the goalkeeper. Southport's leading marksman Jamie Allen equalised from the spot, his 7th goal in his last 8 matches. But the winner came with 25 minutes to play. Jack Midson's first goal in 19 months, making it 5-4. A remarkable match which sees Braintree leapfrog Southport and climb out of the drop zone.
To score 4 goals at home and not win the game is disappointing, but our defensive performances today were not up to what they have been, and it's obviously the reason that we haven't won the game.
A week's a long time in football. Last Saturday, Forest Green were just minutes away from a 12-point lead at the top of the National League, but defeat to Lincoln, followed by a home draw with Tranmere, meant Mark Cooper's men held a mere 4-point advantage ahead of their trip to the racecourse ground. Wrexham were yet to taste victory under manager Dean Keats, and they didn't make the best start. Just 8 minutes played when Mark Carrington was deemed to have fouled Forest Green midfielder Liam Noble as he fired over the bar, penalty to the visitors. Darren Carter once scored a spot kick to earn Premier League promotion for Birmingham, but he was denied by goalkeeper Luke Coddington, who kept the game scoreless. And it proved crucial as just 3 minutes later, Wrexham were in front. Sean Harrod heading deftly into the corner. Harrod a thorn in the Forest Green side. That's the 5th time he's scored against them in just 3 appearances. It's been a damaging few days for the league leaders, and Keats and his players were keen to capitalise. Just half an hour on the clock when Paul Rutherford's shot was parried by Sam Russell, but Jerry McDonough squeezed in the rebound to give the hosts a 2-0 half-time lead. The visitors threw everything at Wrexham in the second half. Sub Manny Month heading back across goal, and Carter, keen to make amends for the earlier miss, scored his 4th of the campaign. With Forest Green going for it, Wrexham were able to wrap up the points in stoppage time. McDonough, the man breaking clear, who chose to go it alone and score his 3rd goal in 2 games. It confirmed a first league win for Keats at the 6th attempt, while Forest Green are on their worst run of the season.
Credit to Wrexham, they dug in and I managed to hold on, and obviously the last goal we're gambling to try and win it, and they catch us on the break. But we certainly had enough opportunities to win 5 or 6 games today.
For the lads, for the fans, it's been long overdue. They're outstanding today. First half, magnificent. Second half got put under a lot of pressure, but they were brave. We'll have a look back at the goal, see where it's came from, how we can address it. But they kept going, and they've done everything we've asked them today, so we're really proud of the boys.
Lincoln City were 2-1 down with 89 minutes played at Forest Green last Saturday, but Danny Cowley's men managed to snatch victory from the jaws of defeat and reinvigorate their title bid. By contrast, Maidstone United arrived at Sincil Bank with just 1 win in their last 9 league games. Jay Saunders set his team up to be difficult to break down. The clearest sight of goal in the first half fell to Lincoln's top scorer Matt Reid, who fired wide of the target. The visitors' resistance was broken 7 minutes into the second half. Terry Hawkridge with the cross, Reid proving dominant in the air, and Theo Robinson was on the spot to get his name on the score sheet for the first time this season. Just 2 minutes later, the hosts doubled their advantage in bizarre circumstances. Maidstone were awarded a free kick. Goalkeeper Lee Morgan took it quickly but gifted the ball to Nathan Arnold, who squared for Reid to register his 11th of the season. Lincoln are now just a point off the top of the table after a fantastic week for Cowley and his players.
It's November, so the league is what it is really. You know, we don't take too much focus on the league at this point. It's just about keep trying to get the process right, keep trying to get the outcomes right, and seeing where it takes us. We're on a good run. I think we're 13 unbeaten now. But we know that we've got a tough game coming in Wrexham, who will be buoyed by their result on today.
Paul Cox celebrated a year as Barrow manager this week. The club was 16th when he took charge, but have risen all the way into the top 4. A trip to Dagenham and Redbridge would truly test their promotion credentials. It was visiting keeper Tim Erlandson who was called into action first. He signed for Barrow on Friday, saved spectacularly from Corey Whiteley on Saturday. The away side had lost just 3 of their last 35 league matches, and true to form, they seized control of this one just before the interval. Liam Hughes' header ruled to have crossed the line, deadlock broken. Then on the stroke of half-time, Barrow carved Dagenham apart. Richie Bennett bursting through and unselfishly setting up strike partner Byron Harrison to double the advantage. John Still's men pressed for a route back into the game. Erlandson on loan from Nottingham Forest with a superb double save from Whiteley and then Frankie Raymond. The Daggers' last home game saw them ship 5 against Gateshead, and they were 3-0 down thanks to an incredible strike from Bennett, Barrow's number 9, ending a 6-game goal drought in some style, putting Dagenham on the verge of another hiding. But the home side delivered the perfect response just 2 minutes later. Luke Gutteridge couldn't find a way past Erlandson, but Whiteley finally could as Still's players looked to set up a big finish. As brilliant as Barrow were in attack, they were indebted to their debutant goalkeeper. Gutteridge again kept out by the fingertips of the 6'4" Swede. And Cox's men were given the chance to make the game safe when Moussa Diarra was adjudged to have been bundled over in the box. Penalty to Barrow. Harrison stepped up to take his tally to 14 for the campaign and confirm a 20th match without defeat in all competitions for the surprise package of the season.
For the neutral, it must have been a fantastic spectacle because both teams that really went for each other's throats, and just shows you what a strong league this is. But look, I'm over the moon with not just the way we played, but you've got to be over the moon with the scoreline of coming somewhere like here and going away with 4 goals.
Today's a difficult performance and a difficult result to swallow, but you know we're confident with another game on Tuesday here that we'll put it right. We've had words in there amongst themselves and with the staff and that, and you know it's about showing some character now to bounce back from 2 recent disappointing home games.
The appointment of Mickey Mellon as manager has really breathed new life into Tranmere's promotion prospects. The hosts were unbeaten in 7 league games under their new boss. Visitors Torquay were without an away win in 6 matches. Mellon's men were certainly fastest out of the traps. Andy Mangan taking the ball past Torquay keeper Brendan Moore, but he could only find the side netting. Tranmere's confidence was clear for all to see, and an incisive move saw them strike first after 12 minutes. Ben Tollett with the final ball, and this time Mangan made no mistake. His first goal since re-signing for the club earlier this month. Torquay last managed a victory at Prenton Park in 1968. It wasn't a record that looked under any threat when Mangan raced through to double his tally. His decision to follow Mellon from Shrewsbury to Tranmere looking like a shrewd one. The home side were dominant, and 2-0 almost became 3-0 when Richie Sutton rattled the crossbar as Tranmere looked to add further gloss to the scoreline. But Kevin Nicholson's team were gifted a route back into the game. Lee Vaughan miscontrolling, and Dan Sparks the beneficiary, giving Torquay an unlikely lifeline. It made for an edgy atmosphere on Merseyside, but the hosts had the opportunity to settle their nerves with 3 minutes to play. Vaughan brought down, penalty to Tranmere. With Mangan substituted, Andy Cook, who missed a spot kick at Braintree last weekend, stepped up again and was unsuccessful again. It didn't prove costly for Tranmere, who are now 3 points off the summit of the National League.
Should have scored more goals, there's no doubt about that. I think we'd have to be fair and respectful to the opposition, but I think even they would maybe say that the opportunities we got, we have to be scoring them. They're not just half chances, they are goal-scoring chances. But that's good that we're creating them. Pleased that we're creating them. Just would like it to be a wee bit more comfortable and take some.
A run of one win in the last 8 had severely dented Macclesfield's promotion hopes, while Dover Athletic had risen into the top 6 after 3 wins on the spin. Fog descended over Moss Rose, making visibility extremely difficult, though Dover keeper Steve Arnold was able to see Danny Whittaker's header and tip it over the bar. Arnold was a busy man in the first 45, denying Chris Holroyd from close range, although you might have to take our word for it on that one. The visitors weren't at their best and went behind on the half-hour mark. Arnold this time at fault, as Danny Rowe gave Macclesfield a 1-0 lead. As the mist continued to be a major factor, referee Anthony Coggins suspended play 10 minutes after the break, eventually abandoning the match. Dover manager Chris Kinnear might have been relieved at that outcome, but his opposite number John Askey felt conditions were actually improving and called it the worst decision there's ever been in football.
Guiseley started the day bottom of the National League and were in desperate need of 3 points if they were to avoid being cut adrift at the foot of the table. But that task wouldn't be easy against a consistent Boreham Wood side who had won 6 of their last 8. They had the best of the early chances when Jamie Lucas saw his effort well saved by Johnny Maxted in the Guiseley goal. Despite their lowly league position, the hosts were unbeaten in their last 4 at home, and they took the lead moments after half-time when centre-back Rob Atkinson outmuscled Matt Payne to head home his second of the campaign. Just 3 minutes later, Guiseley scored again when Will Hatfield benefited from Jake Cassidy's mishit shot to double their advantage. The hosts were almost out of sight when Cassidy powered a header on target, but Luke Garrard's side were kept in the game thanks to an acrobatic save from keeper Grant Smith. Boreham Wood gave themselves a lifeline with 20 minutes remaining when Kenny Davis scored his second goal in 3 games to half the deficit. But Adam Lockwood's men made the point safe when Cassidy finally got his name on the score sheet. It was only the second time this season they had scored more than twice in a game. Victory lifts Guiseley off the bottom and to within 4 points of safety.
Two sides who had experienced differing fortunes of late met as Woking, with 1 win from their last 10, took on a Gateshead side unbeaten in 9. But the form book counted for nothing as the hosts opened the scoring after just 7 minutes. Following excellent work down the right by Jake Caprice, his pinpoint cross was expertly steered home by Gozi Ugwu. That was Ugwu's 4th goal in 3 games. And he was in the thick of the action again when his powerful effort stung the palms of Dan Hamford in the Gateshead goal. The Heat had won 5-0 at title-chasing Dagenham and Redbridge in their last away game. They were almost level when Dan Johnson latched onto Fraser Shaw's block clearance, but his angled shot rebounded agonisingly off the post. Into the second half, and Woking were gifted a second when Hamford made a mess of his clearance. The ball eventually fell to Ugwu, whose finish showed great composure. Then came the hat-trick when Ugwu once again took advantage of calamitous Gateshead defending to seal all 3 points for Gary Hill's side, who move out of the relegation zone on goal difference.
3-0, I was pretty confident then that was it, and at CSI it allowed us to do one or two things which we wanted to do from the bench as well, and you know, you still got to play your part, but keeping a clean sheet today, and Ugwu getting an hat-trick and in the rich vein of form, and you know, as I say, it's worked out a good day job for the club.
Chester arrived at promotion-chasing Eastleigh with a record of just 1 defeat in their last 13 games, although they were without a win in 6. The home side were hoping to build upon Tuesday's impressive 1-0 win at Aldershot, and they were unlucky not to take the lead in the early stages when Tom Shaw cleared Scott Wilson's goal-bound effort off the line. It was Chester who eventually broke the deadlock when Johnny Hunt's teasing cross was slammed home by Kane Richards. That's Richards' 5th of the campaign, surpassing his total for the whole of last season. Eastleigh were enjoying plenty of possession but struggling to make it count. And with 20 minutes remaining, the away side were given a golden opportunity to double their lead after Joe Partington bundled over Richards in the box. Tom Shaw's spot kick drew a magnificent double save from on-loan Wycombe keeper Scott Brown, but Chester managed to scramble the ball home via the slightest of touches from Elliot Durrell. With the hosts desperately pushing for a goal, John McCarthy's team put the game beyond reach when they executed a perfect counter-attack, which was finished off by Jordan Chappell, sealing just their 2nd win on the road all season. Defeat for Ronnie Moore's men sees them fall 7 points adrift of the playoff places.
Anybody who wasn't here looks at the game and thinks, cool, 3-0, they've had a right tonk in there, but we haven't. We it was self-destruct. They didn't have to do anything. We did it to ourselves, and that's what the frustrating thing for me.
Gary Mills' return as York City boss has yet to have the desired effect. He led the club to promotion in 2012, but 6 games into his 2nd spell in charge, Mills was still waiting for a first win. If York's form doesn't change soon, they'll be in serious danger of back-to-back relegations. They fell behind after just 5 minutes at Hayes Lane when an unchallenged Jack Holland looped in Blair Turgott's free kick. That goal did provoke a response, though, from the away side. They went close twice in succession through on-loan Birmingham City midfielder Charlie Cooper. First, he made a mess of this opportunity before he was unlucky to see a glancing header come back off the inside of the post. As York have found out this season, fail to take your chances, you'll be punished. And that's exactly what happened as George Porter found himself with time and space in the box to slot home his 3rd of the season. Into the second half, and only a superb double save from keeper Kyle Leatheran denied Bromley a 3rd. Neil Smith's men eventually did make it 3 with 10 minutes remaining when once again a Bromley player found himself unchallenged in the box. Adam Cunnington, the man profiting on this occasion. Millside are now 4 points from safety, and it's now a staggering 31 games since they last won away from home.
Sloppy goal, the first one, sloppy goal, the second one, and a free header for the 3rd one. And you know, we're in a situation at the moment that is not a good place to be, and to concede, you know, poor goals doesn't help us and puts us on the back foot from the word go after 5 minutes today. So a difficult time for all of us at our football club, but we've got to get it right. We've got to turn it round, and we've got to, you know, make sure we're not giving away sloppy goals, and we're still in the game. And we didn't do that again today.
North Ferriby's trip to Solihull brought together the two teams promoted from National League North last season. The Moors had lost their last 3 at home, but they took the lead on the half-hour mark when Akwasi Asante pounced after Rory Watson could only parry Jamie Osborne's strike. Steve Howsham's side are the lowest scorers in the division with just 10 goals all season. Danny Emerton demonstrating here why they hold that unwanted record. But after weathering the North Ferriby storm, Solihull made the point safe when Asante displayed strength to hold off his marker before an emphatic finish, his 11th of the season. The visitors' miserable day was compounded in the final seconds when Curtis Bateson picked up his second yellow. They slipped to bottom of the table, but the win for Solihull is just the boost they need before next weekend's FA Cup second round tie at League 2 Luton Town.
This wasn't exactly a game between two form teams. Sutton were without a win in 6, while Aldershot had managed 1 victory in 7. An even contest swung in the home side's favour right on half-time. Bedsenti Gomis took exception to Jake Gallagher's challenge. But referee David Rock saw enough of a reaction from Gallagher to show him his 8th red card in 4 seasons. After the break, Sutton made the most of the extra man advantage when Jamie Collins rose highest to head home Rory Deacon's free kick. And Collins was at it again with 10 minutes to go when he secured all 3 points for Sutton, with his 2nd of the day, his 6th of the campaign, making him the club's top scorer. Not bad for a centre-back.
Well, what a change of fortune for Forest Green Rovers. A fortnight ago, the league leaders were 9 points clear. Now their advantage is just 1 point. Lincoln are unbeaten in 10 and will take over top spot if they avoid defeat against Wrexham on Tuesday night. Barrow haven't lost in 17 league matches and are up to 3rd after that big win at Dagenham and Redbridge, who, despite conceding 9 in their last 2 home games, are still in the playoff places. Braintree are out of the bottom 4 after taking the spoils in that 9-goal thriller at Southport, who dropped back into the relegation zone. Guiseley moved out of last place after their impressive home win over Boreham Wood, and Woking are also on the rise, but York continue to slide after their 14th league game without a win. A quick reminder that our next live game takes us to Moss Rose for Macclesfield Town against Bromley, and that's on BT Sport 1 and 4K UHD on Saturday, December 17th from 11:45. That's all we've got time for this week. Thank you for watching. We'll see you again soon.
Look the part, play the part. Yakko sponsors Vanarama National League on BT Sport.